All right, everybody. So I'm going to do my best to try and keep this in frame. It is a biggie. It's a biggie knife, but it's a very nice knife. Now, it's the very first knife that I have that's highly collectible. It's got a, I think it might be the first or second. Sorry, I just bumped my tripod just now. It might be the first or second flash batch Spyderco I have. Oh no, I might be wrong. It might be the first and only one, but maybe I had another. Oh no, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to try and do a little bit of digging. Maybe I do have another flash batch. Anyways, let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into today. I got for you guys the Darn Dao. Designed by Bob Lum, it is taking the Chinese Kung Fu Dao sword and scaling it down to a more customized knife so it can be a little bit more modernized in its beautiful design. Not a huge fan of Chinese swords, but I still appreciate them. I never really came around owning. I think I have one Chinese sword. I know I haven't really. I need to show you guys the swords I have in the collection, so that way you guys have an idea of how many blades I have. I still got a lot of content for you guys. I'm just going down the line of what I have so I can put it up. But I still got a lot more left to go to show you guys before I show you my swords. They're just fantastic. I'm more into the Japanese side of things than I am the Chinese. But I do have one. I did have two. I do have one Chinese sword in my collection. And it's beautiful. There are certain things, if it makes you drool, man, it makes you drool. And this is one of those things. So I'm going to remove it out of this. When you get a Darn Dao, if you get a Darn Dao, it's going to come in this really nice kind of felt case, zipper case with the Spidey emblem on there. Now I'm going to back out just a little bit so you guys can see it. Trying to keep it in frame so you guys can really see it. It's pretty big. So this is kind of just like a close-up view because I'm trying to keep it in frame. It's a nice blade. Now, to me, this kind of looks like a mixture between a sword. No, I shouldn't say that. Because it is. It's basically, it's just a scaled down sword. They just took the Chinese Dao and shrunk it down. These are collectible. And what I mean by that is that they're not just collectible. They are collectible because there's only 1,200 of them made. And if you're able to get your hands on one, you're going to get one that's going to be numbered. So, now... This booklet says flash batch. Now, from my understanding, without having to go through this entire book with you guys, because I know that's going to be hella boring, what it basically is, and I've been told different things, but I'm going to go off of my most trusted source. And I don't know really how much I trust it, but I trust it pretty well. Basically, a flash batch means that they're only going to make a certain amount of number, and that's it. What they do with the machinery and the tools, I don't know about machinery, I want to say more like tools. All the things, they basically break the mold, so to speak. In other words, there's no way they can remake it after a certain amount. They're done, close the book, they break the mold. There's no way to ask for anything more. They cannot remake it. So if you, say for instance, got this knife, you snapped it in half, well, you are SOL, unless you're able to find another one that would be for sale to replace it completely. I mean, you're sure you could probably send it in and probably get it repaired, maybe, but it's not going to be the same. They're probably going to tell you, yeah, man, it's dead. You're going to have to find a new one, and we don't have any more. Basically, what I mean by they break the mold is they take all of the tools, the special tools that are specially made to make this, and what they do is they recycle it and turn it into other things that the factory can use and will use for future projects, including everything else they make. So, and that's what I was told. They basically, there's no way that they can remake this knife after 1200. That's it. And yeah, it's gone. There's no way they can retrace their steps. So, and I think that's really cool. Basically, it's like a destructive kind of way. That's basically what the flash batch is. So now that I've yapped on about that, this is hand-stitched leather is what I was told. And this sheath, oh man, it smells nice. You can, if you like the smell of leather, you're going to smell it immediately once you open up this box to this knife. It's going to be in a bag. The blade and the sheath are going to be separated, and it's going to have a cardboard sheath on the blade, and it's going to have the special number that it's numbered as on the blade on that cardboard sheath, because they literally mean that's that number, that's it. So that's really cool. You got the double snap right here. So I'm not going to undo that, but I'm not going to, I just did. So that's extra, kind of protection right there to make sure that it's nice and secure in the sheath. That stitching is fantastic, by the way. This knife sheath is literally perfect. It fits to everything, and you can tell that it is just very beautifully done. I really do like the detail they went in on this sheath. It's very, very nice. I'm going to put that off to the side. It's so big. Flash batch. So really cool about the flash batch. Like I said, it's very highly collectible. If you're able to get your hands on one, it is really nice. So you got this kind of wood grain pattern, G10, and yes, they polished it down. So you can still feel a little bit of the texture. It's not really 100% there, but it's really nice for what it is. It's better than wood handle scales, in my opinion. I just don't dig it. But these G10, it's really nice. And of course, yes, it comes from Taichung, Taiwan. Anything that comes out of that factory for Spyderco is fantastic. It is nothing less than perfect. I have not had a problem with any Taichung models that I've ever gotten. They're all perfect. They're beautiful, beautifully done. The quality assurance in that place is fantastic. Oh man, it's so good. So you got the Bob Lum design right there. I can get in the light. There you go. You see Lum. Now, unfortunately, he did pass away, for some of you who don't know. And by far, he was probably one of the best knife makers, designers, whatever you want to call him. He's probably one of the best, and I am a huge fan of his. Unfortunately, his stuff is, you're not going to see too many new things anymore, if not any. You're only going to see whatever he's already made, and it sucks. I wish he was still around, man. He made some awesome, awesome knives. He made stuff for Benchmade and Spyderco, so just beautiful, beautiful, mate. All right, so right here, you got the fluted lanyard hole, so that's really nice. If you want to put a lanyard in there, you can. 550 paracord, no problem. It'll go in there nice and easy. And what's really, really striking to me, and I find this really, really nice. Now, it's a full tan construction, okay? So it goes all the way through. But if you can tell, it swells right here, and then it goes nice and fine down there. You see that? That's really, really nice. That is beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. If I flip it around, it's the same thing. It's absolutely beautiful. Now this, when I showed it to somebody, they were like, man, you know what that looks like? That literally looks like a machete. And it does. All right, so this side right here is, it's not sharp, although it does kind of feel like there's an edge there. It's not. But they made it to where it comes to a point on this back side right here, on the spine, to the tip. It's very, very well done. Beautifully. Spyderco CPM 154. Now, I used to see this on a lot of the older Benchmades. Seeing it on a Spyderco is a real treat. It really is. So this is some tough stuff. And, of course, you got the lanyard hole right there. And, yes, if you haven't already noticed, right there is the number 1078 of 1200. So 1,200, and that's it. I wish I could have gotten one of the lower number ones, but this knife isn't exactly cheap, so kind of had to wait. And that's fine, as long as I got one. I think there was, from what I could see, there was only at least 7 left. Someone said 7? 5 or 7 left on Amazon, and I think Blade HQ might have a couple. So get them while you still can, if you still really can. This knife came out a decent while ago. I want to say a few years back came out. This thing is super sharp. What's funny was I ran my finger on accident across it just because I was like trying to read that number, and I just went whoop, and I went whoa. And it was such a clean cut that it felt like a paper cut. And it probably took maybe about a minute or two before it actually started bleeding. And I was just impressed on how sharp this thing was. This thing is literally just a sword, but scaled down to be just a big, like a Chinese bowie. That's exactly what this thing looks like to me. An Oriental bowie. And, obviously not an American bowie, but yeah, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. I'm really, really just, every time I take this out, I'm like, wow. Like, I don't even, like, I want to use it, but I want to use it on, like, a zombie, Like, I don't want to use it on wood. I don't want to, chop ice with it or freaking, I want to, like if there was like a zombie apocalypse, this would probably be one of the many knives I would have on me, obviously. I'd be freaking knife man. Don't get me wrong, I like firearms too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be unreasonable, but you don't want to make too much noise, man. The zombies are going to be coming. You want to be nice and quiet and have some fun. So why not use something you can, slicey, dicey, choppy? Why not? This is one of those things, nice and quiet. Really, really nice. Really beautiful. The balance on this thing is tremendous. Tremendous. I mean, you got that full flat ground. You see how wide that spine is? And then it just tapers down. It's just fantastic. So we're going to get into the measurement, the specs on this knife. Oh, man, I don't even know how to... I don't even think I'm going to use my scale on it. I mean, I kind of want to for you guys, but I'm afraid of like throwing off my scale because it's just kind of, obviously heavier. Oh man, you know what? It's not like the Warrior Hawk. That thing was heavy. That thing's 2 pounds. This thing is, I want to say a pound and a half. Yeah, it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. So we'll get into the length at least. I don't want to throw off my scale. I'm so sorry. It's got some weight to it. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to be... I can tell you that it weighs a lot less than my Warrior Hawk. Because that thing was... God, man, how much that thing was? Yeah, 2 pounds. So this is much less than that. I want to say a pound and a half at most. Now the blade length on this thing is... Oh, man, it's almost a foot. About 10.5 inches of actual cutting edge. No, I'm lying. 10.5 inches of blade with 9 5/8 of actual cutting edge. With an overall length of 16, a little bit over 16 inches, 16 and a quarter. So it's a big knife. It's a big knife. If you guys want one of those fixed blades from Spyderco, this is probably the way to go if you're able to spend the money on it. It is a bit pricey. I purchased this a while back, so it's not as expensive. Well, what the hell am I saying? It is very expensive. It's very expensive. With everything all said and done, you're looking at close to $500 when you purchase this. So it's like buying another PS4. Yeah, just put it that way. Now the price hasn't really changed too much on it from as far as I'm concerned. It's still a very, very, very expensive knife. And it's probably why there's still a decent amount of them out there. Not a lot of people are really, jumping at this knife, and I don't blame them. It's pretty not good as far as price, but you can feel the quality. It is well worth the money, in my personal opinion. Handle, you're looking at 22.6, and if it matters to you, the blade, you're looking at 5.4, 5.3. So yeah, it's nice. It feels like it can get a lot done, and I don't need to swing this around, although I do a lot. This thing is just beautiful. Just beautiful. You got lots of belly on there, and the tip is not shy of anything. You can stab with that thing. Look at that. It goes to like a needle point. It's nice. Very, very nice. Now, if I hadn't said it already, yeah, you got that little spider hole and that etched spider on there. If you look really close to that spider, you can actually see the... I can't really see it. But on the spider, you can actually see how it was engraved. I really do like the higher end Spyderco knives that have that, because you can actually see the pattern in the laser etching on how they did the spider on there. It's really cool. I like the small things about that. Really awesome stuff. Very comfortable grip. It has that personal. To me, it's personal. But it's got this really nice swell right here, and then it tapers down in the middle down here, and then it swells back out like around back here. So when you do go for a chop or a slice, this thing doesn't go flying out your hand. It's nice and sturdy, and it's beautiful. Like I said, I don't know how many times I gotta say that, but it's just damn fantastic. And with it being a Bob Lum design, it's one of those that I know is going to be one of my favorites. Now, I have a few Bob Lum designs. Man. I think it's another Tonto. Yeah, I got like a Spyderco Tonto that's a Lum design. Oh, man. What other Lums do I have? I think another one's just a few of them over in Benchmade area of my collection. I got like a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them are Bob Lum design knives. So really awesome stuff. Bob Lum he knocks it out of the ballpark when you see his stuff and you get to hold his stuff. It's just quality at its best. Doesn't matter what company he goes for. It's just, if it's a Bob Lum, it's a fantastic knife. It really is. So it just pains me. It really does, that they just kind of lost a good designer. It just kind of makes the collection kind of just like, damn it. Come on, man. It's like when Stan Lee passed away, I was super bummed out. I was like, damn it. I thought that guy was going to live forever. You imagine that? Just, God, man, I didn't want him to die anytime soon. But, it's all part of life, I guess. So, with me, trailing off on odd subjects, back to this knife. So when you purchase this knife, if you're trying to get this knife, just be aware that when you put this all together, you're going to have just a ever so slight problem. One of my buddies ended up, he has one, and that's kind of what motivated me to get mine. He put it in the sheath so many times that he actually cut, and you can see it. He cut a little slice into his sheath here. Now, that was over time. Now, this is real leather, obviously. I don't know how many times I have to say that. But he took his camping, backpacking, hiking. He took this thing almost every outing that he possibly could, and he ruined it by every single time that he went to put this knife in the sheath, he actually cut. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. This is really, really good quality leather. Just pay attention to how you sheath this thing. From him stabbing it inwards, he stabbed it in once, and he was just aggressively doing it so many times that he ended up cutting a hole about 2 or 3 inches wide on his sheath. Still a beautiful knife. It looks just like mine, except his was like somewhere in the hundreds. So he got his way, way, way back when they first came out. And he's still upset. He sent it into Spyderco. They said they couldn't really do too much about it because it's leather and that they would have to send it to another factory to get it, or another, branch to get it fixed, and that more than likely it's not going to be able to be fixed. I don't know. It was a huge complication. This was a long time ago, so he just gave up on it. He's using it. He's just being mindful about how he sheathes his knife now. And it's beat up. I mean, it's got nicks and dents, and I think it even has like a smudge stain from rust. I don't know. He calls it a patina. Rust is not a patina, dude. It's, fancy. It's like saying trash is rubbish. It's just, it's still trash. Talking about, his abuse on his knife. Anyways, awesome knife. If you're interested in it and you can get it, I get it. It's fantastic. So go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime that I post new stuff. Any of these craziest of the times, everybody, please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I'll see you all awesome people in the next video. Oh, that was a lot. All right.